Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a happy Wednesday to you. I hope you enjoy your week. This is a very exciting release for me because today's another day we get to jump on board with some of the gentlemen from the crossover genre. Jumping back on board with a little bit of Forestella one time. They have a new release out. In fact, there's a new EP out, which includes White Knight, their previous song. Or their previous, I should say, crossover genre song, because of course they went full boy group on us last time with the song simply titled Cool. And yeah, that was a culture shock and a half. It was actually a very good song, all things considered, but it's a very big culture shock. You know, Forestella are a group that are known for their vocal prowess. They're very dramatic, classical vocals, the rock vocals combined. They make for a great vocal time. But then they went full boy group on us last time. And now we have a new era from them. And just based off the fact that White Knight is part of this new album, I'm going to guess we're going back to the old days of Forestella. And I'm very excited for that, because that's the Forestella that I grew attached to. So we're going to check out the title track, Snow Globe, today. Let's get into it. DJ, roll the intro. Interestingly enough, this is the second time we're with a Beat Interactive group, because we checked out Ace's pre-release a little bit earlier in the day. But it's a long song. I mean, this is Forestella, so the music is going to be long. Right around this time last year, wasn't it? Or a little bit later in the year, we had Utopia, which was a tremendous time. Very gorgeous song. Snow Globe. I do wonder if we're going to get a little bit wintry now, which feels weird to say because it's, November. But then again, radio stations have started playing Christmas music. You get like the cinnamon-scented pine cones at the grocery store now. That would give me a headache every single time. And Halloween's over, so it's always Christmas. And I guess we're going to have to get ready for that. So let's see what Snow Globe is all about. Gosh, I always forget how loud that splash screen is.
Frozen in forever winter, floating on silvery storms, dazzling stars softly embracing all that I've ever known. The loneliness settling deeper.
I do love a song in 3. 1, 2, 3. Gorgeous octaves. It does have that wintry vibe to it, but the thing that sticks out more than anything is this waltz vibe. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's this hint of elegance to it. Oh, very interesting. You know what this is giving me? Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They do the classical and the rock combo very well. And Trans-Siberian Orchestra, this time of year, is their bread and butter. Like, even in the vocal parts, you get the dramaticism of the classical vocals, but you also get the heaviness of the rock vocals. Yeah, and it's getting more intense every single time through the chorus, too. Oh, this part is just straight up Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and I love it. And it's that gradual evolution from the very smooth and elegant classic 3 into the really like, heavy rock 3. Oh, this is a different type of harmony we're getting here. Nice growth. Nice meaty vocal flourish there. Now we're getting the full Forestella vocal range here. Oh, and then a little finale motif at the end. No resolution at the end either. It holds on to that final fourth chord and just lets it ring. Oh, very mysterious. It's like because of it, there's like an air of spookiness to it, and that's very interesting. Look, one thing is guaranteed with a crossover group, and it's a vocal masterclass. That was a vocal masterclass. But what's really interesting about Forestella is they can do the very dramatic classical music very well. They can also do the rock sound very well. And that's in part to like the vocal texture and the vocal color of their high range vocals with Hyungho and with Mingyu. When they throw a little bit of that rock energy into it, it allows for Forestella to filter into a completely different genre of music. They're not restricted to that purely classical direction. And because they can bring in the extra injection of energy you get from that heavy rock sound, Forestella, and especially Snow Globe, for me plays right into my wheelhouse. So growing up here in the West, in America, during Christmas time especially, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, who, for those of you who don't know, is a rock group, or like a project group in a way, where they bring together the sides of heavy rock, hard rock, and they bring together classical, and I mean straight up classical, choir, full orchestra, the whole 9 yards. And around Christmas time, if you've grown up around the West, you'll know songs like Christmas Eve, Sarajevo 1224, Canon Rock, Wizards in Winter, and a whole plethora of songs where they bring together hard rock with classical music. Snow Globe is almost like Forestella's interpretation of what Trans-Siberian Orchestra does, and I love that. Because you get the nice classical waltz, like this first verse here.
Longingly stare at my reflection, hoping for something more. The glory of
Especially once the strings comes in.
a faint melodious sound.
Like this is very much the kind of music you'd expect at like a fancy ballroom Christmas party. You know, it's a song written in three, where you can imagine a dance move like a waltz, which is always written in three, just that kind of natural swinging motion with the elegance and the lightness of it. This is very much in their classical wheelhouse. But then you fast forward a little bit through the song, let it gain a little bit of intensity, and then you get you gain that intensity that the rock instruments bring in. And it's not just the instrumentals doing it, it's the vocals as well. So in the beginning, you get your nice, smooth, delicate vocals, like especially with like Mingyu and Hyungho taking the kind of gentle, light, classical tones, very soft, very fluttery. And once they bring in the rock instruments along with it, their voices also adapt to it. It's very interesting because the instruments alone, by changing their feeling of it, will change the song significantly. But what completes that transition into a hard rock song is the vocals joining in that transition. And it's most prevalent in those two. Doohan's got a very nice mid to low range voice that really just blends everything together super nicely. And then, Woodham's low range is unbelievable. And of course, on the channel, we've had various Pita comebacks as well. We get to hear a little bit of rocker Kyung Ho as well. So these are all things that shouldn't be new to me. And to be fair, they aren't. But the execution of it is very nostalgic for me, very reminiscent of another group I hold near and dear to my heart. And I'm more than pleased. I'm beyond pleased with it. Oof. If you don't know Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I highly encourage you to check them out. They are a spectacular time. Especially if you live in the West this time of year, you cannot escape them. But if you like classical, but you also like hard rock, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is tremendous. They make classical music sound very imaginative, very different. In fact, there's a plethora of non-Christmassy classical stuff that they've remade into their hard rock style, which I highly encourage you to listen to if you're into that kind of thing. And Forestella, they've really taken that identity of being a crossover group and spun it in a way where it's not pop oriented anymore. It's very much heavy rock or hard rock oriented. And I love that because, well, having checked out a whole bunch of bands here, like K-pop has rock influences. There are various groups out there who have called on the rock genre for their music. There's also rock groups, like actual K-bands in the industry. But you don't really get an overlap. And that's, I think, where the Forestella boys and the La Poème guys and the newly formed Libellante, Forti di Quattro, all the other various crossover groups out there, they're doing something that really doesn't happen, and it's bringing classical and rock and pop together for the general public. And these releases are always going to be exciting for me. And of course, there's other songs on here as well. I think there's 2 new songs on this EP that's out. I don't know if I'm going to have time to check them out this week, just because this week's release schedule is ridiculously busy. Like, there's like 3 or 4 albums that dropped today that I need to get around to, and that's a lot for someone who doesn't have a lot of time. So, apologies if I don't get around to them. I know I couldn't get around to La Poeme's album earlier in the month, or like earlier in the season either, because of time constraints. But rest assured, I will be listening to those B-sides in my free time if I don't get them around on video. But that is it for me today. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today. Let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness to me brighten someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, ever going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on if you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.